It's awesome. Anytime, you go out there and have a good game, it's awesome. But, just worried about the next one. Worried about today. We had a good day of preparation and just trying to get my body, back to where it needs to be. And, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's our main focus right now, and we're really excited.
Max, earlier today, Ben Roethlisberger gave you some love for being a MAC guy. How
Yeah.
excited are you to be going up against not only a legendary quarterback, but a Miami Ohio guy?
Yeah, he's a legend from the MAC, and I definitely agree with him. The best players come from the MAC, so big shout out to him. But we're looking forward to this week. He's a great player, another obstacle in our way, so we're going to prepare for him and get ready.
Max, you mentioned the process of getting your body right on a short week.
Yep.
What is that process like? And then also the fact that Gerald now is down for the season, Denzel Good goes down for the season. The importance of other guys just stepping up.
Yeah, that's the nature of this business. Guys are going down. There's new guys in the building every day. It's a crazy business, to say the least. But, it's the next man up mentality. Obviously, losing Gerald is huge, and we've talked a ton since the game, and it broke my heart. That dude has done so much work to get back, and to see him go out like that is horrible and unfortunate. But he's still going to be a part of this group no matter what. So. It sucks, but yeah, obviously Denzel as well. Like the dude's been working his tail off. So, you obviously gotta, feel for them, but at the same time, the show keeps going. So we just got to keep getting prepared. Everybody's got to stay ready and take care of themselves.
Max, as a captain, what are you saying to so many young players about putting a big Monday night game away, especially on a short week going out east?
Yeah, we were just talking about it on my walk here. There's been so many. The roller coaster ride that, Derek's talked about, everybody talks about is like not getting too high, not getting too low. So for me, like, I already flushed the game. I'm already worried. I watched the Steelers' first game against Buffalo yesterday. Been locked in on them because, it's a week-by-week basis and week-by-week league. You never know, how things are going to turn out. So you really have to stay locked in. There's always going to be ups and downs, but trying to stay, even keeled and just continue to take it day by day and one day at a time. And that's really all you can do.
As a defense, you guys are really buttoned up in some key situations late in the game and overtime. You won the battle 9 times out of 12 on third down, getting them off the field, getting 3 sacks, 2 turnovers. Is that a building block for you guys, especially being right at those key moments?
Yeah, that's something we've struggled with in the past, getting off the field on third downs, things of that nature. So, obviously seeing it week 1, that was awesome to see. But consistency is everything. It's one game. We got to bring it this week and do the same thing, but to be even better. Our effort was good, but it could be great. There's always room for growth in every area. So, it's a good start, but we just got to keep going.
Going against a bigger quarterback, does that change anything that you do as far as preparation or strategy?
You said what?
Going against a bigger quarterback like Ben, like a larger guy, does that change your approach at all and things that you do?
Obviously he's not as athletic as Lamar Jackson, so Lamar is kind of like a anomaly in a way. But Big Ben's a great quarterback. We talk about it in the D-line room all the time. It's about us at the end of the day. We got to do what we got to do. No matter who we're playing. It all starts with get off, playing with crazy energy, running to the ball, causing turnovers. So that's never going to change. So for us, obviously there's going to be different guys we're playing, and we're looking forward to the challenge. Big Ben's he's a hell of a player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So we're definitely looking forward to it, and I'm excited.
How much of a difference did you notice with the depth you guys created to be fresher in the fourth quarter and late in games? How much of an impact was that on Monday night?
Yeah, it's huge. We have a lot of guys. I was talking about it after the game. Like, it was awesome to see a bunch of different guys make key plays in that game. Like KJ Wright coming in, getting the 4th down stop. Zay Jones catching the game-winning touchdown. Just a bunch of guys that, don't get the respect they necessarily deserve, and seeing them make big-time plays on Monday night, like, that's encouraging. So, the depth, I think we have great depth. Obviously it sucks Gerald going down, but it's the next man up. We just signed Square. The dude fits right in. He's just met him today, and the dude he fits right in the group. So it's a next man up mentality, like I said. But our group, we work so damn hard during the week, from D line, it starts with us all the way up to the DBs, and we're pushing ourselves. So I feel like we could have played a whole nother game after that game. You know, I felt good. Carl was talking about it. He's like, man, I feel so good. Like, our group has been working so hard, so we're not surprised that we weren't tired, you know what I mean? In OT, we felt like it was the first quarter again. So, you know, we just got to keep improving and keep getting in better and better shape every day.
Guys, I know you touched on it. I think somebody asked you, but after you had named captain, your little meeting with Derek, Derek was telling us a story. I read an article after the combine, somebody asked you about being a leader, and you said you're not big on barking. You're all about putting it on the field. Where did that, is that something you just adapted yourself, or was that a coach that instilled you at a younger age as far as just going out and not necessarily, because you had never been a captain before?
You know, I think that kind of comes, you know, that starts with my dad, the way I was raised. He was my coach when I was a little kid, in my Pee Wee teams, and one thing he taught me when I was a kid, like, don't be all bark and no bite. Like, that's been that's like my biggest pet peeve. Like, that's one thing I can't stand is like people who consistently talk about it, but when it's time to go and time to shine, like, you're quiet and you're not, you know, doing what you're saying you normally do. So for me, it's like I want to go out there and show everybody, listen, this is what I'm about. It's, you know, it's not just on the field, it's in the weight room and meetings and everything. Like, that's what I try to do every single day. Show up, be the first guy in the building, you know, first guy, you know, doing extra after workouts, doing all, so everybody sees what I'm doing. They know I'm putting in the work. I want them to see that every single day, because if I'm going to say something in a game, they're going to have more respect for me. If I'm a guy who's late every day and showing up and bullshitting and not going full speed in practice, and then on game day I'm the big loud guy and talking, like, they're going to be like, I don't care what he has to say. So for me, it's all about putting in the work ahead of time and, you know, continue to do it on the field and outwork everybody. And, you know, that's how it was. You know, my dad's taught me that since I was a little kid. Like, don't be that guy who talks and doesn't have any action behind it.
I alluded to this on Sunday, but having covered you in high school, you didn't have the Michigan State, Michigan, Notre Dame offers, and then watching you with Coach Creighton at EMU, you still had to push the ball uphill. Do you have an advantage because nothing's come easy, everything you've earned?
I would say so. You know, that's kind of just been my journey. You know, I've since I was a kid, you know, I never got anything handed to me and never had anything on a silver spoon. Like, I've always had to work for everything I have. You know, I had one offer coming out of high school. I was a 4th-round pick. I've been told what I can't do for a long, long time, my whole life. So the motivation for me is like, all right, I can't do this. All right. Now, everything I see, I screen, like, I got it in my phone. I see it every day, because I love it. Like, I love that type of motivation. I love when somebody tells me I can't do something. That's what pushes me every day. So, you know, I still have so much room to grow as a player and a person. But, yeah, I would say nothing's been really handed to me my whole life. I've had to fight for everything, and I'm going to continue to fight for everything the rest of my career and the rest of my life.
Max, as a child, you talked about for a while now, the clean living, the clean eating, the things like that. Did you feel it kind of come out during the game on Monday night?
Yeah, I would say so. I felt really good. I felt like I could go all day. You know, so it's another thing, like, people talking about, he can't, you know, he played way too many snaps. He needs to. I'm just like, listen, I could play 1,000 snaps. I could play 2,000. It doesn't matter to me. If I'm in the best shape I can be in, I could play all day. It doesn't matter. So yeah, you know, I felt great. Now I'm just trying to recoup my body, get back to 100%, and go back out there on Sunday and do my thing.
Max, going up as to get those results as well.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, it starts, you know, with the whole team. You know, we all got to be on the same page. Everybody's got to be getting ready, and, you know, I'm going to hold my group accountable, get everybody on the same page, and me and Yannick, everybody, we're just trying to get, you know, back to, it's the NFL. You know, it takes to get back to 100% on Sunday. That's a whole week process. You got to do everything right. So that's what I'm focused on, and I know the guys are too.
I was just wondering, growing up as a kid and maybe watching different teams and so forth, what were your thoughts as a kid and growing up, maybe through college and whatever, about the Steelers? What early memories do you have, or what thoughts do you have of this team?
Yeah, so it's funny. My best friend growing up, Nelson, he was he still is a diehard Steeler fan. So we used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Grapevine, Texas, every single Sunday and watch the football games. And he would have his Troy Polamalu jersey on, and he would always talk about Big Ben and the Steelers and ball like constantly. And his dad is also a diehard Steelers fan, so I grew up hearing about the Steelers all the time. You know, they're a legendary organization. You know, they've done it the right way for numerous years, and it's exciting. You know, going to Pittsburgh, I've never been there in my life, so really looking forward to it. It's got a lot of tradition. I'm excited to go there and, you know, put on a show.
Who's Nelson cheering for on Sunday?
Oh, I don't think he does. He probably still wears Steelers jersey. I'm not gonna lie, but you know he's gonna be rooting for me to do well, so I know that.
Speaking about jerseys, the Sacramento Kings gave you a shout out on Monday.
Yeah.
The motivation behind the J. Will jersey.
I'm just a big fan. You know, he's one of those guys that you love to watch play. You know, he always puts on a show, and you know he's just a baller. So, you know, I got a ton of retro throwback jerseys and things of that nature. So, you know, I ended up picking that one. I thought it fit the mood for me.
One more, guys. You got something, Adam?
Yeah, the narrative about the Steelers all off season is their offensive line is what's going to hold them back and what's going to keep them from being a contender. You watched the film. What did you see from them in the first game and how they look?
You know, like I said, it's about us at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say. It's just we got to take care of business. I feel like this group has what it takes, so we just got to keep proving that, you know, 1 week at a time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So the first question today, guys.
Derek, can you talk about Hunter's maturation and improvement and the very first time you saw Hunter to now?
Yeah, the very first time I saw Hunter, I had to make sure that that was really him, and it was. And he has surprised me every day since then. You know, the way he sees the game, the way he plays the game, super tough, unbelievably athletic, quick, agile. I mean, he goes against some of the best corners in the world, and he finds a way to get open and make plays, right? And so I think the biggest thing I love about him is he sees the game this exact same way that I do. So he runs some unorthodox type routes, but I kind of see it that way, you know. And I think it makes it hard for defenses, and I think that's why we've just had a great relationship and a great chemistry since he got here.
The plan from Baltimore was just to rough him up a little bit. Was that what they were doing, and how did he feel after the game?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had a couple of shots on him where they definitely got the one penalty on him, and then should have had another one. And I mean, teams, they have this thought in their head about everybody, you know. So with a guy that's like his size and in the slot, they're like, oh, maybe we just rough him up. Maybe I don't know what their plan was, but I'm sure I could assume, you know, oh, maybe we'll get in his head. Maybe he still came back and made some plays. I mean, he doesn't care about that stuff. I think you get to this point in your career, if you're still here, it doesn't really bother you, that part of the game, you know. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. But I know he's doing all right and ready to play this week.
An emotional win on Monday night, a short week playing a tough opponent in Pittsburgh. Now some injuries are starting to pile up. How do you guys manage that and just being able to get ready for a tough game on Sunday?
Yeah, I always tell everybody the best you'll ever feel is the day before, you know, week one, you know, and then after that it's all just fighting your way to get back to as best as you can for the next game. And, you know, whether that's, you know, 50%, 75%, whatever you can get to. I mean, you just try and fight your best each week to try and feel your best. It's a process. It is a fight. It is a grind that you literally have. There's so much ahead, but you have to take it one day at a time, or, you know, you'll go crazy, you know. And I've had my fair share of injuries in this league, and I know that other guys have too. But, you know, after week one, everybody's battling just to get fresh for the game.
But does that also include replacing a guy like Denzel on the fly and see what happens with Richie? But that part of it where you're bringing in new guys almost right around the corner from a game like that.
Yeah, it's hard, but the way that we practice during camp, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a 1, 2, or 3. We all practice together. You know, coach is putting the third O-line with me. You know, he's putting the third receivers with me. You know, and vice versa. You know, it's mixed up because coach knows that in this game injuries happen. So everyone's held to the standard of, I don't care if you're in with the 1s, 2s, or 3. I don't care where you're at. This is the standard that we have to practice at and execute at. So with that said, guys are ones for a reason, right? But you do have confidence in the guys playing because you've played and had reps with them, and they wouldn't be on this team if coach didn't feel good about them.
When you talk about the routes that Hunter runs, just going back to that, like some of the unorthodox ones, the one he drew the penalty on, I don't know if you can see it in your head, but like, that's a really strange type of route. Is that
Yeah.
something you guys invented, or is that like, where did that come from?
Yeah. I'll give Coach Gruden all the credit. You know, I mean, anything that he can think of, we try and execute for him. You know, and so we have definitely some made up type routes. There's definitely some moments that I've completed balls to Hunter, and Coach Gruden and EB will look at us like, and we're like, we're on the same page. You know, all those kind of things. But you know, there are some things that Coach Gruden comes up with that people haven't seen, and it makes it hard to defend. And especially, obviously, we want the touchdown, but even better, you get first down at the 1. You know, that's drawing that penalty is awesome too.
Derek, with Andre's first game and Alex as a rookie,
Yep.
nobody plays perfect in the NFL, but I went
Yeah.
back and watched the game a couple times. They seemed to me to play pretty well. Were you happy with their performance in their first game?
Very happy. You know, there was again, playing that defense for really your first start. You know, really like this is your moment going forward. You know, and I was very proud of both of them. I think that we could have had some better communication on some of the blitz pickups. They were able to get a couple free runners like they usually do. But that's the one thing I can't stand more than anything. You know, I try and pick up every blitz, you know, and all those kind of things. So with our calls and our communication, there's one or two that we would like to have back and grow and learn from, which hopefully we did and hopefully we will. But very proud of those guys. But, you know, we're in the process of getting better and playing more games together. Every game that goes by is more experience together. And so hopefully this game and the noise and against a great defense and a great team like this, it'll be a good challenge for us.
You know, the ball goes where the ball goes. But how important was it to get Henry and Brian involved, and how important was it for them just to stay with it and be ready when their numbers got called?
Yeah, I mean, if we have learned anything about Coach Gruden and how we play, we're going to throw the ball to where the ball is supposed to go. You know, we're not going to force feed anything. Now, you see a guy like Waller have a whole bunch of targets. Well, he's got one-on-one coverage, and more times than not, he makes plays. The guy had 19 targets, but he still had 105 yards, 10 catches, and a touchdown. I mean, how can you know, if you can, you throw it to him 30 times, you know. And so the ball is going to go where it's going to go, depending on the plays that we call and things like that. You know, and I know that people with fantasy teams and they bought somebody's jersey, they want to see them score and catch the ball and all those kind of things. And I understand because I'm a fan of the game too, but we don't discriminate on who gets the football. We're just going to drop back, and I'm going to try and do the best of my ability to make the reads that coach is asking me to make.
Ed, Kevin, Chris. Your defense is about to face a much different quarterback than last week. I
Yeah.
know you're not on that side of the ball, but you're also a fan of other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So can you talk about Ben and what you see over the years about Ben and what they'll have to deal with him?
Oh, Ben is unbelievable extending plays. You know, I don't know if he'd win in a foot race with the guy that we played with this last week, but Ben is someone I've admired from afar forever. I mean, he's a great talent. I was able to be at one Pro Bowl with him, so I got to ask him a lot of questions, just kind of listen and learn. You know, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, you know, and who wouldn't take the opportunity to try and learn from that guy? And so I just sat there and I listened, and how he talked to his team and the players that he had there with him and communicated with his coaches that were there. They had their staff, so it was kind of nice to see that too. But he's unbelievable, extending plays in the pocket. You know, you can extend plays out of the pocket. You can also do it inside the pocket. You know, and he's unbelievable at that. He's crazy accurate. He's not afraid to take chances. You've seen that throughout his whole career, and you know, he's gotten a couple rings out of it. You know, he's one of the best quarterbacks in our game still. You know, that's one thing too, is, you know, in the offseason here, you know, is he done and all that? I'm like, I watched the film. This guy, I hope he's not done. You know, I mean, the guy is unbelievable. He's playing at a high level. So our guys, they'll be ready, but I hope they're ready because he's one of the best to do it.
From what you've seen, how much does TJ Watt change the game and the disruption from your side of the ball?
Yeah, he just doesn't stop, you know, just like his brother. You know, those two guys, whenever you play them, you know you're in for a fight, you know, for the whole down, you know. And, you know, they're going to fight and claw and do everything they can to get to you, whether you hold it for 1 second or whether you hold it for 8, you know, they're not going to stop. And, one thing I do know is the guys playing alongside him on that front make it really hard also. They you could tell they're a very unselfish group. Whoever makes the play, they're all celebrating each other, and all those kind of things. So you could tell that bond is special, and they all know that they can all eat because the other guy does his job, and he's fun to watch, from afar, and admire his game. But exciting challenge for us also to go against him. He got his new contract, and he deserves every penny. That's easy to see, but it's also fun to compete against the best.
Derek, as a lifelong Raiders fan growing up, even the games before you were born back in the 70s where they just had these Raiders-Steelers rivalry games and so forth, and the Immaculate Reception, all that stuff. What are some of your early
that ball
memories
touched
of
the ground.
Steelers? And just some of the thoughts that you had of the Steelers and players that, as a Raider growing up,
Yeah.
as a little kid, what were your thoughts of the Steelers?
Yeah, well, you got to respect them, obviously. It's like I said, that ball touched the ground. But, we've had our fair share of battles in my career, too, which is fun for me to have a little bit of part of the history, of that rivalry. And you grow up and you watch all the NFL films, videos, and then, you grow up and you watch, Rich Gannon, you watch Terrell Pryor, take a 90-yarder, down the middle right before I got here. There's so many memories of plays and things like that. We're, at the home game, we throw a touchdown to Derek Carr, or they run a hook and ladder. I mean, just some crazy stuff, where, they end up, I think it was a drop snap or something like that on a field goal to, tie it or win the game. And just there's a lot of memories, and my, memories of, throwing to Crabtree right down the middle to take, tie it up or take the lead. And, Antonio Brown going for 300 yards or whatever he had that day, and watching Charles Woodson chase him down at 40-something years old. No, I'm just kidding. But, it's just crazy memories when you think about these two teams. And I'm blessed that I just get to live a life where I get to be a part of that, honestly. As a football fan, I'm honored that I get to even step on the field at, Heinz Field and play against these guys. It's cool for me as a fan, but as a competitor, you want to go out and win the game.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hunter's coming up next, guys.
Hunter, it just seemed like the Ravens were trying to challenge you a little bit physically, come after you. Maybe some extracurricular stuff going on as well. Do you, are you kind of at the point where you almost expect that, where people are going to try to challenge you like that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't particularly notice anything different than any other game. You get so caught up in the game and just winning and playing your best that you don't even notice, people trying to, whatever they're trying to do or anything. So, you're so focused on doing the job that you just go out there and play.
Can you talk about kind of your maturation? Derek was in here and he said when he first met you, you had to make sure it was you. But then he found out quickly it was. Can you talk about that maturation, not only connection with him, but how you've developed each year here?
Yeah, no, I love Derek. He's been big for me in that maturation process. Just all his knowledge. I mean, his 8 years of knowledge, and being able to convey that to me, and it's becoming, I don't want to say easier and easier, but simpler and simpler. I'm able to recognize defense a little better, and the little things that should take place as you play more and get more experience, and so. Hopefully it continues to slow down. I know Willie Snead has been big, talking to him and seeing how he sees the game, and I've loved having being able to talk to him, and really that's why we're all here. That's why we do our jobs and we try to get better from year to year, no matter what you do, and hopefully I'm able to keep getting better and better.
Hunter, you're not a guy who screams at a lot of people. I'm not implying that, but when that interception happened in the end zone, I was watching you in particular on that sideline when the defense was in. You were going to guys and talking. Is that really your emergence as a leader? Was that just another step in your maturation as a player?
I think so. I think you can always get caught up in the moment, and I know my role. I'm not a big rivalry guy. I'm a stay focused. Let's get our minds back into it. And so, everyone has their role. If you're going to be the rivalry guy, then definitely do it in a positive way. But if you're going to be the guy who wants to lead by example and, settle everyone down whenever, the moment's big, then be that guy. And so I think for me, I kind of see myself as that's my role, and to be calm when everything's going crazy. And hopefully I was able to do that a little bit.
What's the hardest part about this for you as an NFL player?
The hardest part about the NFL? Yeah. I would say, getting stronger is one. I think understanding defenses and the game within the game, how they're trying to attack you. I think the Baltimore did a good job of, the first 2 years of my, of my NFL career. People knew I was going to run some choice routes and stuff like that, but now they're starting to drop some DNs and be able to see that. So Derek, don't talk Derek into a bad throw. And so I think just being able to understand what I'm seeing in the safety structure and being able to, move at a fast pace.
All right, thank you, Hunter.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.